Tone, on to our final topic. We got to get a movie review in. It's a movie I think you and I have been wanting to see for a while now because when we saw the previews, we're just like, I'll watch it because Ryan Gosling's in it. And it's just got vibes of like Tropic Thunder from the trailer. I was like, this has to be like a Tropic Thunder type of movie. And I think Ryan Gosling, I think you agree, is underrated as when it comes to comedy.
I love Ryan Gosling.
Criminally underrated.
Yes, but
the trailer looked fun. And dude, after watching this movie, I liked this movie. Okay, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. But at the same time, I feel like it could have been better in terms of its storytelling. I feel like the pacing was just really weird at times because sometimes I was like, this was Tropic Thunder level humor, self-awareness, taking shots at the industry, certain professions within the industry. Very, like I said, it was a very fun movie in that regard. But then it tried to be this weird action movie too, like this, the tonal shift was just really jarring at times. When it was trying to be like a hardcore action, I was like, you lost me. You know what I'm saying? Like the story itself, it's there's some really funny, genuinely funny moments, but other times I was just like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, is this? I thought the guy was fucking dreaming the whole movie, if I'm being honest.
Right.
Okay. So anyways, like Ryan Gosling plays, what's his name? Colt Seavers.
Yeah.
He's a stunt guy in Hollywood. He's the stunt double for Tom Ryder. Who is like Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's like one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. At the end of this segment, can I get your opinion on my movies like this and Mad Max are bombing in the theater? Shit. I mean, yeah, we can probably talk about that for a moment, but no, I like this. The best thing about this movie, Tone, is Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Their fucking chemistry here is phenomenal. And I don't know what it is about Ryan Gosling and chemistry. The guy just works well with anybody. Yeah. If you look at the history of the movies that he's done where he's shared the screen with somebody, if he's not the main character, like he's got another lead character there. The Good Guys with Russell Crowe. Obviously, The Notebook, he's renowned for that. Drive with Carey Mulligan. He just has a Blade Runner 2049 with Harrison Ford. The guy just, whenever you put him opposite somebody else, he just jives with them. He finds a way to connect with them, and it comes off the screen. It's like really, really good. And there are some genuinely belly laugh moments in this movie where I was like, this is fucking hilarious. But then again, there was other times I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But like overall, what did you guys think of it? I mean,
I stand with a lot what you said on it. Like, I was actually very entertained by the movie. I think it started off a little bit slow. I feel like, if I remember correctly, she was getting a little bored at points or just trying to like, is this supposed to be funny? Because I think we kind of did expect, at least I did, more of that 21 Jump Street or
Tropic Thunder type
Star Trek or Tropic Thunders. But it definitely was weird how you said like the tonal shift. It was like two different movies at one time. I appreciated the action scenes because for the most part they were okay. It was more than I expected. There were some really cool fight scenes that was cool. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. That's choreographed that well. I mean, Ryan Gosling's a stunt guy, so yeah, it's believable that he is trained in some form of art to be able to do that stuff. I get it, but like it sometimes just almost took like am I watching a comedy or an action film as well too?
But know.
Yeah, you didn't know. So overall, like I enjoyed it. It was very puzzling. Again, yeah, I think the third act is where it really kind of finally like just kind of melded well. I think because it was all a little bit more chaotic. They had a plan. We finally knew what was going on, so it was a mix of all sort of stuff. But again, their chemistry is so fucking great. Like their chemistry was so good. Like I almost kind of wish like it was a Notebook rom-com because I feel like it would have worked really well as well too. But even in their bits when they were doing some comedy bits, they had some great chemistry. Yeah. They were really a showpiece as a duo here. So, but again, hey, it was fun. I think it was it's worth a watch. I don't know that I would watch it again. I also don't know if like the reviews out there really tell the full tale of like how I felt about the movie at all. But I don't feel like I wasted my time. It was just head scratchy at sometimes to where things were going because it was like, man, like the middle of the movie was like so fucking
it
chaotic.
was weird.
Like, it was all over the place.
And it's bizarre because like it's weird that the director David Leitch, who's done action comedy before, he did Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
He did Atomic Blonde, which was more action oriented all around.
Awesome.
But he also did Bullet Train, which was kind of like an action movie with comedy.
It was kind of like this.
It was kind of like this, where it just was like he just couldn't marry the two genres. Like Deadpool 2 was that one where he's like, he got the comedy, he got the action, everything made sense. This one, the whole story about why Cole's in this position is so incoherent and just confusing. Like, why is this? How is this like happening? Like without anyone else like picking? Like it just seems really weird to like drive the movie forward. You know what I'm saying? Deadpool, right? Dude, different though. Story, it's all funny. It's just a very well done movie in terms of marrying action and comedy. This is just jarring. Like it just feels off. It doesn't feel glued together as well as like Deadpool. It just felt off. I mean, Ryan and Emily Blunt can carry this movie all day. That's the only reason this movie fucking works. If they're not in this movie, the incoherent plot about what's going on with Cole does not work.
I don't know that,
and it's probably even worse.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a weird flick. I just don't feel like it has that. It mixes well with that action and comedy because that sucks because when it is funny, it's fucking funny.
Yeah, he's entertaining. I mean, like I love him when he does the SNL bits. The shit with him and Mikey Day doing Beavis and Butthead all over right now. Fucking hilarious. The fact that he showed up for the red carpet event, that's dressed up as fucking Beavis.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Find another actor that would fucking put themselves out there like that at a red carpet event.
Right, a guy who's known for like being like a heartthrob.
Yeah,
is just like he's just doing bits out there. It's like when Vanderbeek and some of those guys were making fun of themselves like in Jay and Silent Bob's after a while. Like they stopped taking themselves seriously because it's just fucking Hollywood and almost gives you a layer of appreciation. But I did say because of some of the bits in this, there's a little bit of fourth wall breaking and some reality stuff that are doing as well too.
There's some really good stuff.
Being the fact that David did Deadpool 2, I said it would be really funny if Ryan Gosling was a variant of like Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool. I mean, it's almost like a missed opportunity at that point.
That would be fucking awesome, honestly. I like how they showed all the stunt people at the end. That was cool. I actually didn't realize that there was a cameo at the end, and he explained it to me.
God damn, I loved the TV show growing up.
Yeah, dude, it was cool to see that character show up. But yeah, there's some cameos in this that are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
There's one towards the end that I think was just awesome. But overall, yeah, it's a good flick. I just feel like it's a little jarring at times, and I can't help but wonder if that's maybe why this movie maybe didn't do super well at the box office. Because I mean, even then, I remember when the trailer came out, I was sold on it because of Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. But at the same time, I remember looking at the trailer going, it's kind of a weird looking movie.
Like, well, because you almost, it was, I feel like we talked about that too. Like the trailer almost looked like you'd saw the movie in the trailer kind of thing.
Yeah. Like it has that weird mixture of like, is this comedy or is this balls to the wall action? But like, as far as like why Mad Max didn't do well, I really do think that has something to do with the whole prequel thing. I think people would rather see movies going forward as opposed to going back and trying to.
It's a hard sell.
Build up on a character that's already been established at some point. I feel like it's just like, I want to see. I mean, honest to God, if I'm being honest, I liked this movie. I liked I liked Furiosa. But would I have rather seen Furiosa with Charlize Theron and her next step in this journey? Absolutely. I would have much rather seen that.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen her and Tom Hardy reappear and come back together again for something, or just give Furiosa her own movie going forward. I didn't think this movie was bad. I just think it's a hard sell, like you said, for a lot of people who have been, who in my mind, Furiosa, Anna Taylor-Joy is great. She's good. But like, Charlize Theron is my Furiosa.
Well, when we talked about it originally in Cuddles, I don't know if you were there for that show. I don't recall, but I said I think with that movie, there's many external things that were pulling against it. I think that when it was released on a holiday weekend, as well being part of that, and there was a movie that there was a family movie. So Garfield came out, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're on a holiday weekend and you got to go to the movies and you've got a family. Mom and Dad aren't going to have a date night when the kids are off for a holiday weekend and there's nothing else to do. If you're going to go to the movies, you're going to take your kids to see Garfield. I think that played part of it as well, too. I think there's a lot of different things that kind of in a row play to it. Now, it's releasing digital now, I believe.
Yeah, Garfield's not even out yet, mind you, on digital.
Right. So
and it's hilarious. Also, not only is Furiosa out this week, The Watchers comes out on Friday.
So my question, So my question is like, let's see where those digital sales kind of go and how
Right.
what the numbers, because I think that will be a real telltale of like, okay, is this an anomaly? Because it's a good movie. Like, yeah, would I of course rather see Charlize Theron extend past Mad Max and do that story instead of doing a prequel.
Yeah.
It was an interesting choice to do a prequel, but it's still a fun movie. It's a great movie to see.
There's some
It's
awesome
fucking-
sequences. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great. It's gnarly.
Mad Max. It's a Mad Max movie.
Right. So it is a bummer to see it do that and not get the love I feel like it does deserve. So I don't know if there is, at least for me, because I feel like there's so many things that played into that. I don't know if there is a really good like definitive answer to that. Like, I guess we can all at this point surmise on that as well. But
I am going to be curious to see how it does as well, because if I remember correctly, I'm going to look at it right here. If you it is a $30 movie on digital. A lot of times it's like $24.99 for some of the bigger budget movies.
They're trying to recoup.
Or $19.99. This thing's sitting at $30 to buy it and $25 to rent it.
That's trying to recoup.
I would be curious to see how well this does. Right now on iTunes Store, it is the #1 movie on their movie chart.
I mean, and maybe it's because people didn't want to see Chris Hemsworth in that role. I mean, he looks like a demented version of
Thor.
I get it, but he was great in it as well too. What I do like to say, and off topic but kind of similar, which is neat, is the lore ties into the video game.
Yeah, it does.
That's pretty
Pull
fucking
some
neat. This movie
characters from
directly
it.
does. Yeah,
it does.
neat.
No, it's not. It's really weird to see how these movies are just not panning at the box office or not working out at the box office. It's super weird. But like I said, Garfield is still is not on digital yet, so apparently that did well enough to where it could stay out there. But like The Watchers, that came out 3 weeks ago, and that's already dropping on digital.
Right.
So I mean, unless these movies have just an absolute monster opening. I think the biggest concern, more or less, is like that second week. If it's not a home run hitter that first week, and there's like a 50% drop in the second week, they're already like, "Fuck it, this is." It's time
that's
to pull
kind
the
of what exactly it. Like, maybe because everything comes so fast digital. But I mean, at that point, like, too, this is a movie that's more of a niche.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like don't get me wrong, last Mad Max did really well, but it's not like Marvel hit.
That was also the first Mad Max in like 30 years.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, I think being a prequel, again, I think it's literally like you could look at it and sit down and write probably a dozen things why this movie didn't overly perform well. And that's a good reason as well, too. I think that's something that you got to look at. And I think it goes back to my point. Parents sitting home on holiday weekend, we got to do something.
Yeah.
It's hot out. We want to go to the movies. Oh, Garfield's out. Well, I guess we'll take the kids to see that. They're not going to see fucking Furiosa and then go back next weekend to see the other one. So yeah, like at that point they say you got to sacrifice one. Well, guess what? Holiday weekend, the kids are going to take the precedence on that.
Yeah.
So that's why you see fucking lame ass Garfield eating some fucking lasagna like a fat piece of shit.
Hey, I like lasagna.
I do too, because I'm a fat piece of shit.